With Tom Brady booking his 10th Super Bowl appearance in his long and illustrious career, many wondered if he was simply going down south to enjoy the warmer weather Tampa Bay had to offer. After departing Foxborough, the last image we had of Brady in a Patriots uniform was something many Pats fans have simply wanted to forget. And while over the last couple seasons, many in the media, including myself, simply wrote off the 43-year-old quarterback. However, it seems like Tom Brady is making all the critics and naysayers eat their own words. He simply hasn't performed like a 43-year-old would, and here we are in 2021 with Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers hosting Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs in the first ever home Super Bowl. With that being said, all the chatter about Tom Brady being washed up, cliff theories, and losing the battle to Father Time is pretty much dead in the water, especially after he led the Bucs to road playoff wins in New Orleans and Green Bay and threw for an incredible 4,600 plus passing yards while connecting on 40 touchdown passes to 12 interceptions this past regular season. Simply put, Tom Brady hasn't regressed at all, and all his critics were just wrong. Which now brings us to the topic of this video, the game the media labeled as the Arrowhead Massacre, when a 37-year-old Tom Brady was told he was washed up after having his worst NFL game to date in a Patriots uniform. The media turned their back on their beloved Tom Brady and the New England Patriots, signaling the end of their dynasty, and even some of the staunchest Brady supporters couldn't hold back in what they had just witnessed.
Tom Brady is washed up and New England is finished.
We saw a weak team. The New England Patriots, let's face it, they're not good anymore.
The date was September 29, 2014 on Monday Night Football in front of a Guinness World Record-setting crowd at Arrowhead Stadium with millions of viewers tuning in. The stadium was rocking that night as they officially took over the record as the loudest stadium from CenturyLink Field, reaching an incredible 142.2 decibels. Just the season prior, the Patriots finished with a 12-4 record and made it all the way to the AFC Championship game where they lost 26-16 to Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos at Mile High Stadium. New England entered the season as the third Super Bowl favorite, only behind the Seattle Seahawks and Denver Broncos, while the Kansas City Chiefs were 33-1 long shots prior to opening day. Now, you gotta understand that the New England Patriots at this point had a dynasty that spanned for 13 seasons, where they racked up 12 double-digit win seasons, 11 playoff appearances, 11 division championships, 5 Super Bowl appearances, and most importantly, 3 Super Bowl rings. The Patriots headed into this Week 4 encounter with a 2-1 record, while the Chiefs were 1-2 after an impressive road win in Miami, so Tom and company entered this matchup as a small road favorite on Monday Night Football. However, there were a lot of questions surrounding Brady's performance in his first 3 regular season games in 2014. Despite going up against 3 subpar teams, Tom by his standards kind of struggled with just 632 passing yards and 3 touchdown passes along with 3 fumbles. So all eyes were going to be on Tom Brady on this nationally broadcasted televised game.
An electric, energetic Arrowhead crowd here on Monday Night Football against the second most successful professional sports team in the last 20 years.
After stopping the Chiefs offense in their own 46-yard line, Tom started his first drive at his own 10, but after going 3 and out, the Chiefs got the ball back. Kansas QB Alex Smith got the offense rolling with a couple short passes before connecting with receiver David Bowe down the middle for a 15-yard pass. Chiefs running back Jamal Charles, who was dissecting the Pats defense up to this point, ran the ball in for a 2-yard score, giving the Chiefs an early lead. On Brady's next drive, he was able to connect on all 3 passes, but couldn't get the run game going as the Chiefs defense, led by Justin Houston and Tom Brady, pretty much stifled any advances from their running backs. After a crucial 3rd and 2 stop in Kansas' 42-yard line, the Patriots had to simply punt the ball, and the next Chiefs play pretty much opened up the game as running back Knile Davis from his own 14-yard line rushed the ball for 48 yards all the way to New England territory, setting up for the next couple plays. A 33-yard pass to tight end Travis Kelce, followed by a short 5-yard touchdown pass to Jamal Charles, and with that, the Chiefs would take a commanding 14-0 lead. The next possession saw Tom continue to struggle as he only managed to bring the ball up just short of midfield, and after missing an open Julian Edelman, the Patriots had to punt the ball back to the Chiefs. At this point in the game, the offensive line had a tough time protecting Tom as the Chiefs defense were pressuring Brady all night long, and you can clearly tell this was affecting his game. There was absolutely no rhythm in the Pats offense, as anytime it looked as if the Pats were gaining momentum, the defense simply made crucial third down stops. On the next couple drives, both teams exchanged punts as neither team could get the ball down the field until right before halftime, when Alex Smith from his own 11-yard line connected on 2 passes that would bring the Chiefs to New England territory. Jamal Charles continued tearing up the Pats D, and with only 8 seconds left in the half, Smith threw an 8-yard pass to Bo that was ruled just short of a touchdown as time expired. However, due to a penalty called on the defense, this extended one last play for the Chiefs, in which they converted with a field goal to take a 17-point lead going into the break. And as both teams headed into the tunnel, the announcers made note that Belichick's defense had given up over 300 yards of offense in the first half, something that's never happened in the Belichick era.
And the first half that the Patriots gave up over 300 yards in the first half. Never happened in the Bill Belichick era here in New England.
On top of that, Brady's stat sheet at halftime showed he completed 10 of 16 passes for a mere 77 passing yards, and it looked like things would not get any easier heading into the second half, as the Chiefs faithful were just absolutely deafening. You can even get a glimpse of Tom's face as he heard the fans roaring and chanting on as the third quarter was underway. The Patriots started the second half receiving the ball and looked to turn things around, but things didn't change. In fact, it would only get worse for Tom Brady and the Patriots. After missing a deep pass to Edelman, Brady would face immense pressure from the 4-man rush as he was strip-sacked by Justin Houston, with the Patriots recovering but going 3 and out again. Kansas on their next drive took the ball down to New England territory but were unable to convert on third down as Belichick's defense pressured Smith to throw the ball away, keeping the game somewhat in reach for the offense. But unfortunately, a fantastic punt by Colquitt stuck the ball at the Patriots' 1-yard line, giving the offense an uphill battle on the very next drive. When Tom got back under center, you can clearly tell the crowd noise was really getting at him, and see that in a couple plays later when he got strip sacked by Tom Bahali, giving the Kansas City Chiefs great field position. This was Tom Brady's 5th fumble in just his 4th game, and the crowd was going absolutely wild. With the ball on the 8-yard line, Alex Smith connected with Jamal Charles for an 8-yard touchdown, giving the Kansas City Chiefs a commanding 24-0 lead. This was Charles' 3rd touchdown of the game, and he was clearly having a night to remember. With that being said, the Patriots were now down 24 in the middle of the third quarter, and over the years, we've seen this script many times before. The stage seemed set for Tom to lead his team to a dramatic comeback win, but on this particular night in Kansas City, the Chiefs defense simply rewrote the script, as on the next ensuing drive, Tom threw a horrible interception right into the hands of Chiefs DB John Smith, who ran the ball all the way to the Patriots 13. KC got a field goal from this turnover, bringing their lead to now 27 points. Now down 27, Brady led the next drive, connecting on 2 passes, one for a 28-yard pass and the other a 44-yard touchdown pass to Brandon LaFell to get the Patriots on the scoreboard. Still up by 20, the Chiefs offense did not let up as they mainly ran the ball down the Patriots defense through Jamal Charles. Alex Smith would connect with Travis Kelce on a 2-yard touchdown pass, giving the Chiefs a 27-point cushion again early in the fourth quarter. And as Tom came back in the game on the very next drive, the Chiefs defense added more salt to the Patriots' wound as Brady tried to hit Amendola down the middle but threw a pick 6 right into the hands of Hussein Abdullah, bringing the score to now 41-7. And if that wasn't bad enough, Brady ended up getting clobbered by Justin Houston with a legal shoulder hit. Now, with the game simply out of reach, Bill Belichick did the unimaginable in front of millions of viewers and benched Tom Brady in favor of rookie QB Jimmy Garoppolo. The game was getting at hand, and the Patriots simply didn't want to risk Tom getting injured. With Jimmy G under center, the Patriots offense looked a little more fluid, but that could simply be because the game was out of reach. The rookie QB on his first drive connected on 3 of 4 passes for 55 yards, including a 13-yard touchdown pass to Rob Gronkowski. And during the celebration, television cameras cut to Tom Brady on the bench with John Gruden and Mike Tirico critiquing his play for the game. Jimmy continued to move the ball down the field before the Chiefs got the ball back and got in victory formation as the clock wound down. Garoppolo finished the game, completing 6 of 7 passes for 70 yards and a touchdown with a 147.9 rating. And as the game was approaching to an end, camera zoomed in on Tom on the bench again, looking pretty distraught, while displaying his evening stats for the night. This was clearly a night to forget for the Super Bowl winning QB, but it wasn't what happened during the game that was so shocking, but the utter reaction from the media and fans following the aftermath. The headlines the day after were unforgiving. Even news outlets in Boston had many calling this the end of Tom Brady. Many called the quarterback past his prime, playing like a 37-year-old QB and being simply washed up. and many began to go back to a recent interview Tom had done prior to the start of the 2014 season when the 37-year-old was asked how many more years he had left in him, and Brady gave a snappy soundbite and simply said, "When I suck, I'll retire." So in the post-game interviews following the Chiefs game, reporters began questioning Belichick if there would be a quarterback change in New England, and Bill just gives probably one of his best responses ever.
Will the quarterback position be evaluated this week?
Even videos on YouTube title this game as the nights the Pats dynasty ended. However, today, we now know this simply wasn't the case. The Patriots needed time in 2014 to find their identity and use this devastating loss to jumpstart their season. After going 2-2 following the loss to the Chiefs, Tom Brady and the New England Patriots went on a stretch of 7 straight victories, with Brady throwing 22 touchdowns to only 4 interceptions, finishing the season topping the AFC East with a 12-4 record. And with that all-important first-round bye, Tom led his team to 2 consecutive playoff wins over the Baltimore Ravens and Indianapolis Colts to book his 6th Super Bowl trip against the Seattle Seahawks and their infamous Legion of Boom defense. And we all know what happened in that Super Bowl, as Tom has to be the most blessed quarterback in the world. I don't know what it is, but referees, players, coaches, and coordinators just seem to make the most boneheaded decisions when facing Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. But maybe that's just me and how I feel. As being a Hawks fan, I still haven't come to grips with that ending. So after that Super Bowl, Tom had the last laugh as he got his 4th Infinity Stone, but if that still left any doubters hanging around, Tom over the course of the next 4 seasons went to the big game 3 more times while picking up 2 more Infinity Stones. That being said, Tom Brady's greatness should simply never be questioned. I myself have been guilty of writing off Tom on numerous occasions throughout the last few seasons, but what I've learned during that time is to never bet against Tom Brady. The guy can literally throw 145 yards to win his first Super Bowl, or throw 2 or 3 picks in a championship game and come out on top, or score a mere 13 points to win his 6th ring. I don't get it, but in the end, Tom just always manages to win.
What do you think having a 37-year-old?
We're on to Cincinnati. It's nothing about the past, nothing about the future. It's right now we're preparing for Cincinnati.
Okay, do you feel like the talent you have here is good enough?
We're getting ready for Cincinnati.